On CXO Talks today, I have with me Anjali Bawa, founder and CEO of the expert matchmaking marketplace Voila Experts. Recognized by the Indian Achievers Club for 30 Under 30 and Digital Women 2021 awardee by Google and She the People, what unnerves Anjali is the staggering failure rate of startups globally. Just in case you didn't know, 90% of the startups fail within the first 1 year of their inception. But what are we really doing about it? Let's hear what she has to say. Welcome to the show, CXO Talks, Anjali. I am super glad that you've come here to us. And the conversation that I want to strike today with you is definitely a lot about your CXO journey. And being a CXO myself, being a founder myself, I know it's not easy. It's not linear. It's not perfect. But tell me something. What I'm very curious about is I see in you a glimpse of being the Seema Taparia of the startup ecosystem and for businesses. Is that true?
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor for me to be here and speaking about my journey. And on Seema Taparia's note, so this is Anjali Bawa from Gurgaon, and I'm here to matchmake your businesses with the right subject matter experts. But it's the first time someone has told me that I'm the Seema Taparia. Well, why not? I hope I get my own Netflix show one day.
Of course, why not? Cheers to that. You never know what comes knocking next.
Definitely. But I think one thing I can definitely tell you is that यहाँ पे 60-70% adjust नहीं करना पड़ेगा, nor do you have to compromise. I'm hoping that you will get that 100% result and you get the right and the relevant expert for your business.
I hope so too. And, I know that being a startup founder myself, we have many a times struggled with finding the right experts, the right people who we can get on board to consult, to really advise. But where did this journey begin for you? Why did you look out? Were you at some point in time looking for experts? And what really brewed to begin Voila Experts?
So, in that right knowledge of saying that I was made to do this, divine intervention that I had to do this. But jokes aside, I think somewhere I also felt that, when anyone starts a business, right? The first thing that anyone comes to my mind is, अरे रिश्तेदारों से पूछ लो, ask your friends, ask your family. You go and everywhere you go, you get a very biased advice as to how you should start business. First of all, they don't actually allow you to start a business. They don't want you to start a business. They feel it's very risky, it's ambitious, it's there are going to be so many ups and downs, and there is no stability whatsoever. So first of all, they would be like, you know what? I have an uncle. He runs a business. Go talk to him and he will tell you what you should do. What are the finances that are there? And half of the time they are hoping that when you go and talk to that uncle, they will tell you not to do the business. So you are always in this vicious circle, entire loop, that whether I should do business or not, right? And then there's some people who are actually very courageous and they go ahead and do the business. And when they do it, they are always in this trap as to whom they should take expertise from, what do they should do, because when you run a business, there are so many things that one needs to do, and you can't be a master of all. There is finances, there are legalities, there's market size, there's go to market, there's so many aspects, and one cannot fulfill them by on their own. So where do you find these people? Where do you find those right set of people who have already done the business? One. Second would be the right set of consultants and experts who have been traditionally always catering to the bigger set of businesses, who have the money, who have already established. But what about the early age and mid age businesses who have gone out there, who have started the business? They need that expertise. Why do we always go ahead and hear these facts that first time entrepreneurs can never work? The first time, in the first year of their inception, 90% of the businesses fail. The number is staggering. Every year we see that more number of businesses are failing than they are succeeding. Something had to be done there. Personally, this journey started when I was in Oyo. I was working there as a category manager for the co-working vertical. And that's where I started to interact with lots of business owners, freelancers, and I felt that there's a huge gap. If I anybody because I used to bring their finance partners, I used to bring their legal partners. And I felt that there's so many agencies who are already there who are helping out there. You just don't know where they are. So how about a marketplace? You go to the market, you find those experts, you can directly connect with them. That was the idea. Just listing down these profiles. You call it a matchmaking business, but it's a marketplace. You go there, you directly connect with the experts, you see their profiles, and you are empowered enough to choose who is the right expert for you. And there are two ways to connect. You can download the app, you can see all the experts, and you can choose with whom you want to connect with across 5 categories. One is the industry specific business. You can choose your industry. Then sales, marketing, technology, and fundraising. The 4 pillars for which anyone needs help and expertise. You can connect with these experts. And second is you can opt for managed services. You do not have the time, you don't know what to do. Especially I found in Indian market, there is so much work that business owners have to do. They're so busy. How do they go about it? So we help them. And sometimes you don't even know what is your exact query. So all you have to do is go to our website, opt for managed services. We will reach out to you within 24 hours and we will help you refine your query. And then we will help you connect with the relevant expert for your business. It's a managed service. This is something that we launched 2 months ago. And we are very happy to see that hand-holding has really helped a lot of businesses to connect with the right set of subject matter expert.
Wow. Something that really caught me and what you rightly pointed out is the staggering fact that 90% of startups really fail in the first 1 year of their inception. And that's terrible because without the support system and finding the right experts, that's what is likely to happen. What I would want to understand, while you identified this as a challenge while you were working with Oyo and helping startups find these right ecosystem partners, has there been a point in time in your own journey where you felt this lack of finding experts before Oyo?
Yes, in fact, Voila Experts is not my first business. A lot of people don't know this, but I used to run an Indo-Western apparel line, a fashion project called Heer Firangi.
That's a beautiful name.
Thank you so much. It's a very, very interesting story as well. It's about a rooted girl in the modern world. We felt mired in the union, and the combination of traditional and modern designs was Heer Firangi. And with that, I used to run this apparel line. I put it up all my new collections and stories on Instagram. I learned from scratch as to how to register my business, to be able to curate my concept, understood the concept of branding, why that story is so important, to be able to photograph. I got my friends, I did the photo shoot myself. I learned different angles, Googled and YouTubed how to go about fashion photography because it's very different. And then I put it up all on Instagram, learned how the dynamics of social media works, how a D2C brand works. And then I went on to understand how the delivery pattern works. So there were so many things, so many aspects that I learned while doing Heer Firangi, and I did make business. All of this I did alongside while I was doing my master's. But at that time, I felt that I was all alone. I didn't know whether this is, correct way to do business. I didn't have any sort of validation. The validation was only through my orders, right? And my repeat orders.
Right.
But I didn't know what is my go-to market. Is Instagram the only correct way to go about it? Do I also need to have more channels? What is my, do I need to raise funds to be able to do this business? I had no idea. And at that time, I always felt that I am dependent on my family, my friends, whether this is the right way to do business or not, whether this is the correct way to establish in this market. It was just my passion, and now I call it my passion project because it was a passion and I converted that into business. But there was no one for me to guide as to whether I'm doing this in the right way or not. And I needed those subject matter experts. So I think that seed of thought definitely started from there because I had done business. And also, I come from a business family.
Oh.
And that also, I saw my father has been into manufacturing and trading of
Mhm.
inverter batteries. And throughout my life, I saw him, dealing with so many different aspects. And I felt that there wasn't any guidance or expert or a consultant who can guide him as to how to go about this business, how to manage its finances. And somewhere that seed of thought had started right in the beginning of my growing up,
Mhm.
then doing my own first business. And then when I actually saw business owners, different business owners,
Yeah.
dealing with the same problem. So I think that's where that need of solution was there. And then voila, had to happen. Voila Experts.
Absolutely. And, while you say this, something that also, I come from a business family too, and have that background where my father has been a businessman throughout his life. What I definitely feel as a founder myself, and this being my second startup too, is that for a lot of CXOs, for a lot of founders and entrepreneurs, not many people have the right mentor, the right people to look up to get advice from, and finding those experts definitely helps. What in your case, who in your case rather has been that influencing figure or the expert that you seeked advice from, that you relied upon to get their expertise and advice? And what kind of influence did they create on you?
All my life I was finding a mentor. I always felt that there isn't a right mentor for me. I did internship, I worked at NGO, uh, I've done theater, and somewhere or the other, I always had that guiding force above me, but I never knew that who is my right mentor. So there wasn't any one mentor, there were many mentors that I had in my life, right from starting from my mother and my father. My mother has been a great, great inspiration and guiding force for me. I think whatever I am, it's because of her courage to make me who I am. She helped me understand as to, she always told me to dream big. She always told me to have a big vision. And I think somewhere she wasn't able to realize her dream. I think she is the biggest entrepreneur out there. And she wanted me to achieve everything. She still wants me to, she says that, I want you to get that award and I want to be there in the audience cheering for you. And I feel so special when I hear all this. She's been a great guiding force. I think she was the first one who told me to dream big and be courageous. Then to my father, who's a businessman himself, he was such a big he has always told me to take risk. Lot of people don't know this, but I actually took a year drop right after school.
Oh,
It's the biggest, it might seem very small right now, but lot of people don't take drops after school.
yeah.
They might take after undergrad or
And
this thing. And
families never encourage that.
family never encourages, but my father encouraged me to do that. My father said that if you are not happy with the kind of subject that you are choosing, take a drop. It's okay. 1 year, learn about yourself, explore. And
Mhm.
that is where I was introduced to NGO and theater,
Mhm.
and they became base of my journey. I think they have taught me more about entrepreneurship than any college did. So that risk taking capacity came from my father. Then I went on to work under the guidance and leadership of many small internships, and I think they have been great mentors in my life. But I think now, I think my all entire 350 plus Voila experts are my mentors. I am so lucky that they are the right experts, subject matter experts, and wherever I need help, I can just directly reach out to them, whether it's my finance, whether it is my legal aspect, I can just directly reach out to them and they will help me out because they are here to provide that guidance. So I'm lucky and fortunate to have so many mentors in my life.
Wow, you have quite a credible board of advisors, if I may say.
Yes, of course.
What struck me as you mentioned about this journey and the fact that you come from a background of theater and you've worked with NGO after your father encouraged you to drop an year and figure out your path ahead in life, is the fact that right now you're building a tech startup. You're building an aggregator business And this, when you do not come from a tech background, and I do know, as much as I looked up and from our conversation, I'm also aware that you are one of the few women who's been recognized by the much known and credible startup grind as founders of influence and women in the tech world, and one of the only women from India to have been recognized by them. Where did the Kira with tech come into play when you do not come from a tech background? Please enlighten me.
I take a pride when I say that I'm a non-techie running a tech startup. Never, ever in my life would I have ever thought that I will be leading a tech startup, would have an app. God knows how I landed up here, but I think with the moving world, I joined the tech forces. I felt that there is a huge drive that is going towards this market. I always knew the economics, so that market analysis helped me better to take the startup world. But how I came here, I don't think that, being a non-techie or a techie helps you run a business. It doesn't. There is this line by Phil Knight in Shoe Dog where he says that, confidence more than equity, but confidence is the real cash. And I think it's the confidence that will take you farther than your technical expertise or technical knowledge. I can always hire those people and get my work done, but nobody will teach me courage, confidence, or, business knowledge. That is more important, I think, to run a business. And yes, I have been recognized as as someone who is creating an impact in the tech ecosystem, and I hope to do so more, because India is right now a very, very hot market. We are home to third largest global ecosystem of startups, and I hope I am one of the biggest ones to create that bigger dent, not only as individual but as a woman, because we need so many women out there to come in this ecosystem. We need that kind of caliber coming here, and not only in terms of diversity, but in terms of the kind of right aptitude that a woman brings is very different. And I think we that is lacking in the tech ecosystem. We are tired of IITs and IIMs folks because they have a very, very rigid way of thinking. They come from a very same school of thought. We need a new thought. And I think that will come when that diversity comes in. And take that step. Even like anyone who's listening to this, I really hope, if you do not come from a tech background, if I can inspire you in any way, please join this ecosystem, because we need you. We need your help to make this a much more refined, wholesome ecosystem, and not just a tech thought of school.
Absolutely. Since you've brought about this conversation about what women bring on board and how they make it a more wholesome ecosystem, point to me some specifics. What is it that women really bring on board when they are on their CXO journey as leaders, as entrepreneurs? What do you see women bring differently on board and on the table?
First of all, I think, take an example from your home, your mothers, any women who is in the home. You feel that your household is managed better. Why is it managed better? Because they look at every small aspect, from managing your finances to managing your household. You see that there is a inherent management skill that is, I think, with every woman out there, because she knows she has to manage lot of different aspects in life, whereas a man also manages different aspects, but it is expected already. The bringing up is as such that a woman is expected and is, grown in such a way that she can understand a different aspect of everything, of every house. And similarly, in the outside world, I think women are better managers. I'm sorry to say this, but they are better managers, because they know, because they are very keen to detail. They want to, I'm also generalizing this, I know this, but they are better managers, they are better leaders, because they are very keen to detail. They check out every aspect. They are more calmer. Because I think somewhere the negatives of the society has made them better leaders. Why? Because Society has told you to control your emotions. They have told you to be disciplined. They have told you to behave in a certain manner. So they have maneuvered their way out.
Yeah.
They know where to act in what way. And that is the best quality a leader can learn.
Mhm.
A leader cannot really display all of their emotions to their team or to public like they want to. I, as a leader, have to hide my emotions sometimes because I have to motivate my team to work in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I think women are much better in handling emotions as compared to a man. So, emotions, management skills, and that keenness to detail is what makes women much better. And I think that diversity will bring so much better impact in a business as compared to any technical knowledge.
Absolutely. And being a woman myself, I definitely agree. Not sure my team would agree on my temperamental issues, but having said that, I know that they definitely bring about an eye for detail. That women definitely, as leaders, are more, are more holistic when it comes to emotional management and understanding. I think that's the lens of compassion that comes to them naturally. Uh, that's a part of our journey as leaders and as women who are leaders. What I have still to ask you is some of those most challenging times that you have encountered in your journey as a CXO, since you said that, you know, as a leader, there's so many times that you cannot display every emotion. That means that there are times that you have traversed a challenging journey. You have traversed a part which has not been easy. And every CXO, irrespective of gender, undergoes that. What has been some of those challenges and traversities that you have come across, and how did you really go about handling them, which maybe can be a learning for another CXO who might be listening to this conversation?
Definitely. When I say this, I don't mean that they need to be perfect. No human is perfect, and nor are CXOs. Definitely not. I think there is a lot of journey, that ups and downs that any CXO goes through. Personally, of course, I have also gone through many challenges. Every day is a challenge. I think being an entrepreneur is a never ending loop of decision making, taking, managing different teams,
Yeah.
donning different hats. It's a never ending phase. It's a vicious circle. You need to be at it every day. You need to wake up every day and restart your entire things of work that you need to do. And with this journey, you also need to keep on motivating yourself,
Yeah.
right? And I think the biggest challenge that I have gone through this entire phase is that, why am I doing this? Why I have to go ahead and make an impact? Why am I the chosen one? And that is a motivation that I need to do every single day. I need to make sure that I am feeling right in the spirit to be able to lead this show. As compared to challenges, there are different kinds of challenges. There are financial challenges, there are legal challenges. Sometimes I feel like, why people are not working in the right way, why they're not working as what I think, why the goals are not met, why the sales is bit slow. Very common challenges, I think, that everyone goes through. But I think in this entire phase, what I've learned is to be patient. You become perseverant. You are like, it's all right, ये नहीं हुआ, कुछ और हो जाएगा. You will become patient, and I think I have become very patient. The fact that I'm able to speak like this is crazy to me, because I used to be always, you're talking about temperamental issues. I used to think that I am just speaking fast. People, are they even able to understand what I'm saying? What am I blabbering?
Yeah.
But I think over the time I've realized that it's all right. There is a new day, day zero, and you start all over again, and you can mend those things. And I've always felt that, it's better to start fresh than to mend older things. When you start fresh, you are able to go back to the right whiteboard, and you're able to do things in a much better way.
Wow, I think something very profound that you just said was it's better to start fresh. Start clock day zero every day. And I think that is also the onset of having a learner's mindset, having a growth mindset, knowing that there's something new that I will learn every day and I'll start this from scratch every day. That's a profound part of this conversation and really struck very hard to my core. I know for a fact that every CXO has a ritual, or
Mm.
that could be my assumption.
Mhm.
Uh, but I would love to know if you have any ritual that you follow as a part of your routine to keep yourself sane in this insane chaos that we create as CXOs, as entrepreneurs. What are your rituals that you follow and that you would encourage anybody embarking on this journey to follow, or anybody else who's already a CXO can possibly adapt to?
I think more than rituals, Ankur Warikoo keeps on saying this: develop habits, develop
Yeah.
habits every single day. And once you're at it, you will not even realize that you're following that, right? And you call it a ritual, you call it a habit, but there are few things that I have developed over time. One is to keep myself updated. I always start my day by reading newspaper.
Mhm.
It's a no-brainer. In fact, every day I'll find it odd if there is no newspaper on my table. I need to go there and read my newspaper because I feel like right start in the morning, fresh. I'm able to grasp better. I'm able to take so many pointers better, and it keeps me updated.
Yeah.
And more than the device, I prefer reading newspaper physically, and I think that really has helped me grasp my knowledge better and be better at my learning skills. So that's one. Second, I always manage my day, not week. I try to manage my week and month, but I feel like so many sorting out lots of things will not take you anywhere because there will be dynamic things that will be happening.
Yeah.
There will be some delays, there will be some pre things. So what I do is I at least start my day with planning my thing, that what I want to do. I sorted through a very simple Google Calendar that these are the things that I need to do. These are my notes, these are my tasks. That helps me to have a regulation in my time, because otherwise I will never be able to stop working.
Yeah.
So I know sharp 6 or 7 p.m. is my last call, is my last assignment, last task. I will not be working beyond that. Because this was very, I think this was the hardest part that I had to do, because I felt otherwise at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. I was still working.
Mhm.
And I was never able to detach myself from work. But now I have been able to detach. Like after 6 or 7 p.m., nor am I taking calls, nor am I replying to emails. My work is done. Now is my family time.
Right.
After this, I'm going to spend time with my family, probably watch a Netflix or read a book, whatever it is. I need to detach. So I think that's my ritual, that stop your work and leave it. Switch off your laptop because you don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
So that's my
So,
ritual and habit.
Yeah, I think, one thing that you definitely pointed about from, you quoted Ankur Warikoo as well on
Hmm.
the power of building smaller habits. And one thing that I have learned the harder way, and I'm sure many people, thanks to the pandemic, have come out realizing that while working from home, it was difficult to really have that cutoff time, which could allow you to go back to your personal space. So those lines got blurred, but to take charge of your time back and control of your time back into your own hands, knowing that, okay, 6 baje, 7 baje, like 6, 7, that's the cutoff time. And I need to go back to my life after that is very important, because otherwise, that is what leads to burnout. That is what leads to so much misery, because you, as an entrepreneur, as a CXO, are constantly wired, constantly buzzing, and it's not easy. So, giving yourself that relief is so much more important. And thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely. Very, very important. It has really changed the way I work now.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm going to take back the part on reading newspapers, because as a kid, I used to read the newspaper before going to school every day from the first page to the last page, which as a habit has now kind of gone broken. So I'm going to take that from this conversation and build it back again. Thank you for sharing that.
Definitely subscribe to your newspaper wala and get him back, because I've realized that, otherwise my news is, my phone is buzzing with different alerts and I'm like, Arey, ye news. and I'll just immediately go back to my phone and I will start reading Instagram. Then I'll open Facebook, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll open LinkedIn. But I realized that when in the morning itself I have done that, I feel guilty less. I'm like, I have read my news today, so I can move on to my world. I don't
Yeah.
need to check out any new alerts.
Yeah. And that's a brilliant habit, especially in the times that we're living in a mindless scrolling economy. I now have the last part of our conversation, and the last part of this conversation comes from the last episode where I interviewed a CXO. And as a part of, so there's a ritual that we have in the show as well, and which basically is that every CXO asks a question forward to the next CXO who appears as a guest on my show.
Oh, very interesting. I'm scared now.
So in the last episode, I had Purva Agarwal, who's the founder of Good Good Piggy, and she was also one of the participants in Shark Tank India. So Purva had a question, and it came from her own journey and own story. The question that she has for you is that, Anjali, what is your impact footprint?
Wow. Thank you so much for this question. And impact footprint, very, very interesting, because so far I feel like I've done very little. I am right now matchmaking businesses with the right set of subject matter experts. But imagine there are 63.4 million SMEs in India. In India itself, we have
Wow.
so many MSMEs, and that's the impact I'm hoping. Because all businesses need the right set of experts, and especially SMEs. It's the largest sector in our country, and I think that's the impact I'm hoping. I'm hoping to match make the right set of experts so that we don't see this staggering number of 90% of businesses failing every year in the first year of their inception. I want to see more businesses succeeding, more first time generation entrepreneurs coming out there, and especially with Shark Tank and so many government initiatives that have been brought up for startup ecosystem. Let India be the next global business market. Be so many entrepreneurs come out from this country and make our nation proud. And I hope to make a dent and make my impact footprint in this ecosystem.
And so you shall.
Thank you.
Now that you've answered that very beautiful question in such a beautiful way with so much impact, let me ask you, what will be your question that you would like to pass on to the next CXO who appears on CXO Talks?
Okay, so I think I'll take it from my challenge. So, in this dynamic ecosystem that we all exist, and as an entrepreneur, how do you motivate yourself every single day to lead the show? That would
Wow.
be my question.
How do you, as an entrepreneur and CXO, motivate yourself to take yourself forward every day?
Yes.
That's an interesting question. I will definitely pass it on to the next CXO.
Looking forward.
And with that, thank you so much. I've had an absolute honor to have you on CXO Talks, and it wouldn't have been a better day to start with, because this is where the CXO talks, and this conversation with you, Anjali, will create a lot of impact for many other startup founders and CXOs.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was lovely, lovely to be here. And I hope to go on to be the matchmaker for a lot of businesses. And I hope many, many entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs come out there and lead their own show, because this country, this world needs you.
Absolutely. And what I forgot to ask you was, is there anything exciting coming up for startups that you would like to share before we leave?
Definitely. In fact, so we have been doing so many online sessions and webinars. This is the first time. Next month, 16th September, we will be launching our first official event in Delhi NCR. So all the startups that are out there in this city, do come for it, because you will get a chance to give your elevator pitch, and all the experts and all the investors that are going to be there are going to vote for you. So you get a chance to promote your business, as well as get a chance to again be selected for the Voila Expert Tank. All these details will be coming soon on our website and our social media. So keep an eye at Voila Expert.
Thank you so much. And with that, we'll call it a close. Thank you so much, Anjali.
Thank you. Thank you.